You are exhausted. Every single day, you wake up, you go through the motions, you consume the podcasts, you write down the goals, and you feel the weight of effort on your shoulders. You feel like you are moving. You feel like you are fighting. But when you stop and brutally audit your life, when you strip away the ego, the coping mechanisms, and the lies you tell yourself in the mirror, you realize a terrifying truth. You haven't actually moved an inch. Months pass, years pass. The vision board remains the same. The aspirations remain the same. The financial situation, the physical condition, the mental state, none of it has undergone the radical transformation you keep promising yourself is just around the corner. Why? Because you have confused being busy with being effective. You have mistaken the friction of daily survival for the friction of actual progress. Your potential is screaming to get out. It is clawing at the walls of your mind, demanding to be realized. But you are actively, consciously choosing to keep it locked away. Today, we are stripping away the anesthesia. We are going to deconstruct the psychology of your stagnation. If you are looking for comfort, click away now. If you want someone to tell you that you're doing your best and that the universe has a plan for you, you are in the wrong place. This is about radical accountability. This is the harsh truth about why you are failing and the exact psychological architecture required to finally break the cycle. Let's start with the most dangerous lie you tell yourself. I am trying. Trying is the refuge of the mediocre. It is a psychological safety net designed by your ego to protect you from the pain of absolute failure. When you say, I'm trying, you give yourself permission to not actually execute. It is a built-in excuse. In the realm of applied psychology, we call this the trap of fake productivity. Your brain is a highly efficient, energy-saving machine. It wants dopamine, and it wants it at the lowest possible caloric and emotional cost. Reading a book on Stoicism feels like progress. Watching a 2-hour masterclass on building a business feels like progress. Organizing your workspace feels like progress. It is not. It is intellectual masturbation. You are outsourcing the feeling of accomplishment to the consumption of other people's labor. You get the dopamine spike of achieving a goal without ever actually facing the risk, the rejection, or the agonizing friction of building something yourself. You are a consumer masquerading as a creator. You are an observer playing dress-up as a competitor. When was the last time you subjected yourself to the terrifying silence of a blank page? When was the last time you risked public failure? When was the last time you built a system that forced you to work when the motivation evaporated? If you cannot answer those questions, you are not stalled. You are exactly where you have engineered yourself to be. You have optimized your life for comfort, not for conquest. To understand your lack of progress, you have to stop looking at your character and start looking at your neurochemistry. You are fighting a war against your own biology. The human brain evolved to survive in an environment of scarcity. Its primary directives are simple: conserve energy, avoid pain, and seek immediate gratification. Your brain does not care about your financial freedom. It does not care about your legacy. It cares about keeping you safe, warm, and unchallenged. This is the friction matrix. Whenever you decide to take massive action, to launch the project, to overhaul your diet, to start the business, you are introducing a massive spike of friction into your biological system. Your brain immediately perceives this as a threat. It deploys a highly sophisticated defense mechanism: resistance. Resistance doesn't always look like laziness. It is smarter than that. Resistance manifests as sudden, urgent errands. It manifests as research paralysis. It manifests as the sudden, overwhelming conviction that you need to wait until you are more prepared. There is no such thing as being fully prepared. Waiting for the right time is the most successful delay tactic your biological saboteur has ever invented. The right time does not exist. There is only time and the relentless, unstoppable decay of it. You are waiting for the fear to go away before you take action. But the psychology of high performance dictates the exact opposite. The action is the only thing that will cure the fear. Confidence is not a prerequisite for execution. It is the byproduct of it. Now, we must address the most uncomfortable pillar of your stagnation, the comfort of victimhood. We live in a culture that incentivizes victimhood. It is incredibly easy and socially acceptable to blame external variables for your internal failures. The algorithm is against me. The economy is rigged. I don't have the right connections. My upbringing held me back. Are some of those things true? Perhaps. The world is profoundly unfair. The playing field is not level. But here is the Stoic reality. It does not matter. Whether your disadvantages are real or imagined, focusing on them yields the exact same return on investment. 0. When you assign the blame for your current situation to an external force, you simultaneously hand over the power to change it. If your failure is the economy's fault, then you cannot succeed until the economy changes. You have made yourself a passenger in your own life. You have surrendered your agency to appease your ego. Radical accountability means accepting that your current reality is the exact sum of your past choices. If you are out of shape, it is because you put the food in your mouth and chose not to train. If you are broke, it is because your current skill set is not valuable enough to the marketplace. This truth is violent. It shatters the ego, but it is the only truth that will set you free. The moment you accept total responsibility for your absolute worst failures, you instantly inherit total control over your ultimate success. Stop demanding fairness. The hunter does not complain about the terrain. The hunter adapts to the terrain. The hunter studies the environment, identifies the constraints, and builds a strategy that wins despite the friction. Invisible positioning is the work you do in the dark. It is the relentless, unglamorous execution of daily habits that no one will ever applaud. It is the architectural blueprint of a high-performance life. You must stop relying on your willpower and start relying on your environment. Willpower is a finite resource. It depletes every time you make a decision. If you have to decide whether or not to work on your business today, you have already lost. You must design a life that forcefully extracts your potential. 1. Audit your inputs. Ruthlessly cut the cheap dopamine. Delete the apps that turn you into a consumer. Curate your digital environment so that it only feeds your strategic goals. 2. Standardize the mundane. Automate your routine. Wake up at the same time. Eat the same high-performance meals. Wear the same clothes. Remove decision fatigue from the trivial aspects of your life so you can weaponize your focus for the monumental tasks. 3. Execute the 90-day sprint. Choose one single objective, not 5, not 10, 1. For 90 days, you adopt a monk-like obsession with that single metric. You do not look left. You do not look right. You do not ask for feedback from people who haven't built what you're building. You must learn to love the plateau. The progress you are looking for will not be linear. It will be weeks of agonizing, silent effort where nothing seems to change, followed by a sudden, explosive breakthrough. This is the discipline of the shadows. This is where the 1% separate themselves from the 99%. The amateur quits because the reward isn't immediate. The professional keeps hammering the stone because they know the internal architecture is shifting, even if the external results aren't visible yet. We are going to end with a Stoic meditation on the most brutal constraint of all: time. You are acting as if you have an infinite supply of it. You are negotiating with your potential as if you have 1,000 years to live. You say tomorrow. You say next year. You say when things settle down. Let me tell you what happens when things settle down. You die. Every second that ticks by is a second of your life that you will never, ever get back. The clock is relentlessly counting down to absolute zero. The version of you that achieves greatness, the version of you that builds the empire, the version of you that finally answers that internal scream, that version of you does not exist in the future. That version of you is built right now, in the friction of this exact moment, or it is never built at all. Your lack of progress is not a mystery. It is a mirror. Look into it. Acknowledge the victimhood. Acknowledge the cheap dopamine. Acknowledge the fake productivity. And then make a definitive, violent pivot. Stop consuming. Start building. Stop wishing. Start architecting. Your potential is screaming. It is tearing your mind apart because it knows what you are actually capable of. Are you finally going to listen, or are you going to let it die in the silence of your excuses?